Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be attempting a puzzle themed around zombie cages today by Flinty. This is called Outbreak, and it seems only fitting to do this on a Monday. On Mondays in the UK, maybe worldwide, but definitely in the UK is when we get the new episode each week at the moment of The Last of Us Part 2, which I've certainly been enjoying. So doing something, well, are they zombies in The Last of Us Part 2? I feel that they are. They're zombified, aren't they, if they aren't technically zombies. And the idea, I think, of these cages is they all have to grow before they work. So, you know, we've certainly got some sort of infestation growing in The Last of Us Part 2 and also in this puzzle, which has been recommended to us by a few people, including, if I remember rightly, Sudoku, who is rather a good judge of a puzzle, as well as being a brilliant setter, of course, in his own right. So yeah, we'll have a look at this in a moment or two's time. I think it's I can't remember actually. I only just looked this up. I think it's 2 or 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. I don't think it's harder than that. So hopefully we will be able to get through it. And we do look at this as yesterday. We're getting given digits today, which is something of a rarity nowadays. In fact, speaking of yesterday's puzzle, let me just recommend this to you. This is fantastic. Unique Under the Fog 4.0 by Visumation. One of the best Fog of War puzzles I've done, and that is saying something. Really stunning. Not easy, by the way, so but definitely have a go at that if you haven't had a chance to look at it already. I'll try and remember to put a link to that puzzle on the screen. Now, what else can I mention? There are a couple of things. I know that we need to do some more streaming. Mark and I are trying to align our diaries. Mark's been incommunicado this weekend, so I've not been able to schedule anything. But I think we will be doing more blueprints later in the week. Over on Patreon, there's just one day left to enter this month's competition, which was the Oil and Water Sudoku Hunt by Blobs. Now, unfortunately, my computer has gone through an update overnight, and it turned itself off and on again. So it has refreshed. I don't get the pleasure of seeing the refresh and the numbers, but you can see how many 2,000 patrons have done the first one, and we are closing in. Look on the last, the arrow mosaic here, 956 solvers. So we may get to 1,000 solvers, I'm hoping, by the close of play tomorrow. If you've not started yet, yeah, you still have time. You definitely could finish it in time. So if you haven't, each puzzle, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, I would say. Some of them might take a bit longer. There's some help over on the Discord server if you do get stuck. But you could definitely put your name into the hat for the chance to make a Sudoku video that appears on the channel, if that might be of interest. So have a go. Other than that, let me say a big thank you to Sir Lunch, Tom, in real life. Sir Lunch sent me a very good video in which Sir Lunch plays a bit of guitar and then launches into a rendition of That's Three in the Corner, my slight takeoff of the REM song, Losing Your Religion. It's funny, the middle word of that, losing my religion. Why did I think losing your religion? That must be because I sort of disassociate myself from it. That's really weird. That's really weird, the way my brain's working there. Oh, and I will recommend to you, some of you will know this already, I'm a huge fan of Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler is, in my opinion, one of the most incredible musicians, composers, guitar players that has ever walked this earth. And there is a new 40th anniversary edition of Brothers in Arms that has just been released. And sort of part 2 of it is a live album featuring many of the songs from Brothers in Arms, but also some of their back catalogue. It is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So do check that out. I nearly got to meet Mark Knopfler a few years ago, but then it didn't happen. it's still a source of great regret. Anyway, that's nothing to do with this video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the video. Let's do a birthday. I've only got one birthday to do today, and it is for Anna. Anna, your boyfriend Ryan wrote to us and told us that you have watched every night for 3 years, and I cannot tell you, well, how delighted I am to hear that. I'm sort of humbled when people really follow the channel with that much dedication. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today with, of course, a large slice of very heavily iced chocolate cake. And I think that's all the news. I might have forgotten one or two things. If I have, do forgive me. Let's have a look at Outbreak by Flinty, and I will read you the rules of this puzzle. I think have I seen zombie cages before? I think I have, but the rules are really short anyway. What we've got is normal Sudoku rules applying, so we have got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. And then we've got zombie cages. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the initial top left corner. The digits cannot repeat within a cage, and all cages must grow by at least one orthogonally connected cell, could be more than one. Different cages cannot share cells. So if this cell, well, that cell obviously can't contain a 10, is it? Or all the initial cages have to grow. So say it grew this way. It can't contain a repeated digit, can it? So it can't be more than 4 cells large. Yeah. So that could be that cage. In the fullness of time, we will have to see. But those are all the rules. I was expecting a scroll, but there is no scrolling to be done here. So yeah, do have a go. The way to play, click the link under the video. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, there are an absolute plethora of 8 cages here, which are all too small at the moment. But, well, they're not too small, but they are, because they've all got to grow. And that feels like we're going to have to do an awful lot of... Yeah, so the 9 ones in this puzzle are very close to those cells, aren't they? Isn't that what we're being told? And the reason I say that is all of these 8 initial cages all have to grow by at least 1. Well, they can't grow by 2 because we can't repeat a digit in a cage. And if we created a 4-cell 8 cage, the minimum digits we could put into those 4 cells would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they sum to 10. So that's too many. But that means all of these 8 cages are exactly 3 cells large. How do you make 8 in 3 different numbers? Well, it's either going to be 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. So 1. So each of these 8 cages contains a 1. There are 8 of them. So that's 8 ones plus the 1 in the corner, which certainly can't be part of any of these yellow cages. That's all 9. That's all 9 ones that will appear in this Sudoku, for there are 9 ones. Because a knowledge bomb, there will be a 1 in row 1, there will be a 1 in row 2, etc. There are going to be 9 ones in the puzzle. So I'm initially wondering where the 1 goes here, but I think it's got 3 possible positions. Because there must be a 1 in box 9. And it's got to connect orthogonally to one of the initial yellow cages that we've got highlighted. No, I think the 1 in box... Oh, hang on, we've got a 45. Oh, aha, right. I'm going to change tack altogether. There is a 45 cage here. Now, there is a secret I should share with you, if you don't know it already. I only share this secret with my very favourite people, but if you're watching this video, of course you're one of my favourite people. So I'm going to tell you the secret of Sudoku, and it is that all 9 Sudoku digits, if you sum them, you get 45. Now, why is that interesting? Well, because we can't repeat a digit in a cage in this puzzle. the only way of creating a 45 cage is with 9 different digits. Now, that means that this 45 cage must contain the digit 1, and the only one it can have is the one that is not in one of these 8 cages. So there is a cage linking these two cells. And it can't go through this, can it, which is some other cage. That's a 9 cage. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we have to be efficient, which is something we sometimes get with cage building puzzles. What do I mean by efficient? Well, I mean, you can see these are on the same diagonal. And every time we add or we create an extra cell in the purple cage, we must go in an efficient direction, i.e. we must either go south or go west. Because let me show you why. If we built those in and then we suddenly decide, oh well, now we'll go east to that cell, well, now we can't get to the one in 9 cells because we've only got 3 more cells to take, and you can see they won't quite join up. That's all 9 cells now if we were to do that, and that's not enough. So there has got to be an efficient path between here and here. Now, does that mean... No, it doesn't. I wondered if it meant that cell had to be on the purple or in the purple cage, but it doesn't, does it? It could duck round there, or it could go over the top like that. Oh dear. All right, so is it... Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay. Right, the 5 cage is in the corner. Now, a 5 cage, given it's got to grow, it's going to be a 2-cell cage, because it can't be a 3-cell cage. 3 different digits add up to at least 6. If they were 1, 2, and 3, that would be the minimum we could use. So the 5 cages, which can't contain 1s because the 1s are hypothecated to the 45 cage and all of these 8 cages. So the 5 cages must be 2 3s. They must be a 2 3 and then another 2 3. So how... Yeah, so this can't go south, this 5 cage. If it goes south, the minimum value of those squares would be 4 plus 5, which is 9. And there are no negative numbers in this puzzle, so that is our first definite cage, I think. What colour should we make it? That's got to be... And then we can do the same by symmetry here. Oh, hang on. Oh, have I made a mistake here? Because am I not going to have a massive problem with... Oh no, okay, so one of these is a 1. Ah, no, oh, that's very interesting. Right, so making this go horizontal, imagine there was no 1 in either of these 2 cells. Well then again, these would be a minimum of 4, 5. That won't work. So there is a 1 in there, and now there isn't a 1 in here yet. So the one that is attaching to this 8 cage is in one of those 3 positions. I mean, that's such a dreadful pencil mark, but I wonder if I'm meant to make that. I think I can do something similar here as well, sort of symmetrically. If this was a 2 3, if this was the partner of this 2 3, these 2 squares would be at least 4 5. So this has to go vertical. That's another 5 cage. This must have a 1 in it now, because it can't be 4 plus 5. Now that means this isn't a 1, and that means the 1 in box 9 joins to this 8 cage. Right, and 1 by Sudoku now in box 3 is in one of these 2 cells, but it can't be in the 6 cage, can it? Because we know they've all been hypothecated to the 8 cage and the 45 cage, so it's definitely not there. So it must be here, and it must join up to this cage. So this is our own special cage, look. This yellow cage. That is the first 8 cage we've definitely identified. Now, can we keep this going somehow? Where's the one that this 8 cage has? Because it's not in the yellow cells and it's not in row 9, so it must be in one of those two positions. And that means that this can't be a 1, which means that this is a 1, and that's another cage we've got identified here. Can we do the same with this one? Yeah, this has got to have a 1 in one of those two squares, this cage. So this one... Yes, so where does this one get its 1 from? It can't have this one because this is hypothecated to this cage. It can't have 1 from here because the 1 is in the corner. So I think the only way it can get a 1 is there, which means that this is a 1 by Sudoku. This is a 1 by Sudoku. How many 1s have I got now? Oh, I can get more. I can get more. Here we go. I've got loads. 1, 2. I've got all of them. I should just be able to put one in this box and hopefully it will not break. 1. Okay, yeah, that's great because that's going to join to this one. So, okay. So I might need to change colours a bit here because I want to, like this one, if I make it yellow, it's not immediately obvious whether it belongs. I have to redo the thinking about whether it joins to that domino or that domino. I might make that lime green then instead. Is that distinct enough? Or maybe I'll make it orange. That's a bit more distinct, isn't it? So this one, yeah, so we've got 2. Okay, maybe what we'll do now is oh, actually, hang on. We're going to have to think about this some more, aren't we? I think maybe I might want to lose my colouring altogether, which is totally anathema. Well, because I'll tell you why. What I'm noticing is that I've got a domino here that sums to 7 and a domino here that sums to 7. So these squares are they're either 2, 5 or 3, 4. And so say this was 2, 5. This one would be 3, 4 because those two add to 7. So I feel like I'm going to have to do some colouring here. Hang on. Maybe not necessary. What about this cage? Because this is a 10 cage, but it has to grow. Now, there's no way that this cage can take 3 cells. Because if it takes 3 cells, those 3 cells are going to add up to at least 15. There would be 4, 5 and 6. So this is a 2-cell cage and it is a 4-6 cage. So this is 4 or 6 and it's either horizontal or vertical. I don't know which. The 6 cage here is going to not have a 1 in it. So it can't be a 3-cell cage. It was going to be a 2-4 cage. Oh, bobbins. It's going to be a 2-4 cage, either going that way or that way or that way. But that's some other new type of cage there. And we've got an 11 cage here. Is that going to work a bit like the 10 cage in the sense that, well, the first 2 cells of it are going to add up to at least 9, aren't they? But what would happen if it went sort of vertical and went to this square? Could that be a 2? And then this be a 4-5 pair? No, actually that's going to break this count. Maybe this is important, actually. Maybe this has to be a 2-cell cage. The only way it can be a 3-cell cage, because it can't take 3 digits in box 9. It would be at least 4, 5, 6 and add to 15. So the only way it's a 3-cell cage is if it does suck in a cell from outside the cage, outside box 9. The only way it can do that is like that. These would be, it can't have 1 in it, so it can't be 4, 6, 1. So it would be 4, 5, 2, and that would break this square. So this is a 2-cell cage, a bit like that 10 cage. But it's but that's a problem actually, because it's either 4, 7 or 5, 6 then. I don't think we know which. Okay. Right. I think I'm going to have to... think a lot harder, aren't I, about how these 8 or it's really almost how the 7 cages work, because most of these 8 cages just contain 7 dominoes. Right, let's populate what we can and see if we can colour. So these ones are either 2, 5 or 3, 4. This is either 2, 5 or 3, 4. This is, well, actually look, we've got exactly the same. 2, 5, 3, 4 in some order. This cell, well, that's a 4 or a 5. That's certainly true because it sees 1, 2 and 3. So the way that this 8 cage finishes is with a 2, 3 in one of those 2 squares, but I don't think I know. Or do I? No, I'm not sure I do know which way. Yeah, okay, but what I think I'm going to have to do, I'm going to carry on labelling. That's also a 4, 5. That sees a 2, 3. So this can't be the extension of this 8 cage. There's going to be an extension up here in one of those 2 cells. And I think this is going to become a colouring puzzle. Hang on. The purple cage, now look, to be efficient, it's got to come down there. But then I don't know whether it goes that way or that way. And I don't know whether it takes this cell. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so what we should do, how should we do this? Let's try and colour, shall we? Okay, so what we'll do... I'm just unsure about how to... Or maybe I'm meant to colour 2s and 3. Oh. Yeah, okay, so where's 3 in box 3? I don't know, but it's in one of those squares. So it might be simpler than I was thinking. So if that's not 3, that's not 4. Or maybe it's not simpler than I was thinking. Yeah, okay. So okay, I'm going to have to colour. So how should we do this? Let's get rid of everything that we've got. Yeah, okay. I'm going to draw in the cages quickly, and then I'm going to recolour the grid. And apologies for taking time to do this, but I think this is probably sensible. That cage, it's taking one of these 2. I don't know which one. The same is true for this one. It's taking one of those 2. This one is taking those. Might as well draw in the 5 cages, mightn't I? Okay, let's draw the whole grid. Let's draw the perimeter. I don't normally need an excuse to do that. And now, I think what we can do is we can double click all the yellows and remove them. And what we'll say is that we'll say this is orange and we'll say these are yellow, shall we? And let's see if that goes anywhere. So these now have to be yellow. Because let's imagine this was 2, 5. Obviously neither of those can be 2, 5. They would have to be 3, 4. So now yellow in box... Yeah, I can see some things already. Yellow in box 5 is in those cells, isn't it? to 2 of those 3 squares. But also this square, which is definitely orange because it's not part of the yellow domino, now sees this square and makes this square on the low, it's sort of low orange. So this is high orange, but now we know that this cage here completes with orange. It can't complete with a low orange here because of this. So it must complete with low orange there. And that's a new cage we can now completely delineate. Look. Now. So what does that mean? Don't know quite yet. What we need to do somehow is to relate yellow and orange to these ones, and then I think we'll be good to go. Now, how do we do that? I don't know yet. Okay. If this was a 2, this 6 cage would break. Because if this is 2, I know there's a 2 here. So there would be no 2s at all in that region of the puzzle. So how could this be a 2-4 cage? It couldn't be. So this is 3. So orange is 3. Orange is 3. So this is a 2-5. This is a 2-5. These have got 2 and 5 in them. This is a 3 by Sudoku, which we know is orange. This cage has to be horizontal now because this square can't be 2 or 4. So there's a sort of 2-4 pair going across here. And this is not a 2 because of this. So the 2 is in one of those 2. And the 4 is looking at the 10 cage. So that is a 6. And the 4, which we know is joining to this, must be here. So we found a new cage over in box 1. This is very nice indeed, isn't it? So this is now not 4. This is not 3. As there's a 2 horizontal, this is now 5, and this is 2. Now, what can we do with this? I don't know yet, but there's a 4 in one of those cells. So hang on. Oh, I see. No, it's lovely. It's lovely. Right. What we've got to do now is to think about yellow. Now, what would happen if this was a yellow pair? If this is a yellow pair, this is clearly an orange pair, and this would be a yellow pair as well. And then, where would we put the 2 yellow digits in box 5? And the answer is nowhere, because we'd have all of these yellow dominoes forcing this square to be simultaneously 2 and 5, which won't work. So instead, this is orange, this is yellow, this is orange, and we've got to put 2... Ooh, is this going to work or not? It's fine, it's fine. I've got to put 2 oranges in here. Now, this square cannot be orange. It sees both the orange 3 and the orange 4. So this has got to be the orange 3, because it can't be. This can't be, and that's orange 4, and we've gone a little bit further with our colouring. Look. Now, okay, this has got to be a 3 in this orange, so that's 3 and that's 4. We know that these are 3 and 4, we just don't know the order. We know that these are 2 and 5. So we know, oh, so Sir Lunch, that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right, we should, oh, should we make that orange, or is that just overkill? Maybe we should a little bit. So 2 is in one of these squares now. That 4 means this is a 4. So that's 4, that's 3. There's a 3 in one of these two cells. That 4 gets a little bit of an orange tag. That can't be 4, look now. This 4 means this is 5, so that's yellow, isn't it? And we need a yellow 2, that's not 5 now. So the yellow 2 is in one of those two cells, which means this square is a 4, which means that square is a 2. And that is the completion of the 6 cage. So that loses its sixification. Yellow is a, sorry, 2 is a yellow digit, 4 is an orange digit. So 4 has to be here in column 9 now. 4 can be placed by Sudoku in box thingy. Technical term thingy for box 7. Now what do we do? We must... Oh, I see. We can do 3 and 2 down here. So this has become a 2-3 pair. And we know the order. Lovely. So that's 3, that's 2, that's 2, that's 5. And that's therefore yellow. This is orange. That's got an orange flash. That's got a yellow flash. Right, let's double click our 3s. Have we got all of them? Yes. Have we got all the 4s? Yes. Have we got all the 5s? Oh, no. Oh, we've hardly got any 5s. What's going on with 5s? 5 must be up here. So 5 is here. Okay, that's nice. 5 is in one of 2 places in box 7. How about 2s? Are we doing better with 2s? We've got 6. We've got the 3 central rows of 2s to fill yet. And I think we got all the 1s, didn't we? Oh, look at this 11 now. This 11, it can't be a 4-7 anymore, so it is a 5-6. And that the cell itself must be a 6. Now, where does it get a 5 from? We don't know, but it's going to be one of those two positions. What it could be to do with from now on, and it almost has to be to do with, is to think about how we complete this this 45 cage, because this 45 cage, it's got to have in it all of the digits once each. So yeah, okay, so where's it getting a 3 and a 4, given it's got to be efficient? Yeah, this is a cage, this 3, 4, 1. So we know we're coming down here for the start of the 45. So this 3 and this 4 are not in the 45 cage. This is an 8 cage with a 3 and a 4, so it must go over the top there. It must do. This is the only place it can get a 3. So we now know, I think, exactly the shape of the 45 cage. It goes like that. Now, let's just double check it has got 9 cells, so that's correct. Now, the other thought about that is going to be, where does it get a 2 from? It can't get this 2, it can't get this 2, so there must be a 2 in this domino, and that is not a 2. And now where's 2 in row 4? Because it's not in there, it's not in there, it's not here, it's there. So that's 2, that's 5, that's... Ooh, that could be a problem, because we're going to have to think about this. We need to put a 5 in the 45 cage. Oh, that could be a 5 perhaps. I think that has to be. I don't see where else it can get a 5 from. So that's a 5, that's a 5. That's lovely, because that finishes this 11 cage over on this side of the grid. Okay. So this 9 cage then, what's that doing? Is that taking the 2? Is that the point of that? How else could it live? If it doesn't take the 2, it certainly can't be a 3-cell cage. So it can't exist. It would have to be 1, 8, which it couldn't be, 2, 7, which it couldn't be, 3, 6, 4, 5. It couldn't be any of those. So it does take the 2. That is a cage. It can't be a 3-cell cage because it can't have a 1 in it. And this square's at least a 6. And so are those two, yeah. So it has to be 7. That's its own little cage there. So 7 in the 45 cage is in one of those 4 cells, but that sort of crosses boxes, so I'm a bit loath to make that pencil mark. This column, 8 and 9 to place. So this finishes from here, does it? That's slightly surprising. It is a bit surprising, isn't it? Because I don't feel we've got enough high digits. I mean, I've got 2 6s actually. I thought I only had 1. So these are 6, 8, and 9. Six is in one of 2 positions in column 1. I think we've just got loads of cells left that are high digits. I mean, this is a 7, 8, 9 triple. Is there a cage I haven't used? Oh, I should fill that one in, shouldn't I? That's a cage there. I think I did all the 8 cages with the exception of this one, which I know is hanging on to a 2 from here. But until I get the 2 in the 45 cage, I don't know how we're going to do that. Oh, okay, is it the given 8 then? So that's putting 8 in one of those squares, which makes that not an 8, which means 8 is in one of these squares, which makes this not an 8. So this square here is 6, 7, or 9. There is definitely an 8 in this domino. This square is 7 or 9 by Sudoku. Have I done all the 5s? Ah, I can get an extra 5 up here. Everything is worth banking on. There's now a 6 in one of these squares. So there's a 6 in one of those 2 squares. This square, yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. So it's a congregation of all, or combination of all of those things. And that's going to get us a 6 in row 1 here. These are now 7, 8, 9. This 6 needs to do some work. Now, how is it going to do that? I don't know. These squares are 7, 8, and 9. This square is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Is that really? I mean, that feels like a hopeless pencil mark, doesn't it? Yeah, it's okay. It must be something to do. Oh, this isn't a 7. This isn't a 7. So okay, so 6 in row 7 is in one of 2 places, and it has therefore appeared in the 45 cage, hasn't it? So there is no 6 in this domino of the 45 cage, and that means the 6 in box 5 is in one of those 2 positions, which means that this is not a 6, which means that's a 7, 9 pair in the bottom row. It's getting more complicated. And then that's an 8, and that's a 6. So this is a 9. Right, let's... Oh, well, that's good, because now where's the 6 in the row 7? The 6 has got to go here now. Which must be a bit useful. I'm trying desperately hard to see why. Okay, these squares are from 2, 7 and 8. Because we've put one of 7 and 8 in, but we haven't put the other one, which must be here. And this square in box 5, this cell, is not in there, is it? Because it would repeat in its own cage, and it's not in its own column. So these squares are from 6, 7 and 8, with this square being in one of those two. And I was hoping that might do something, but I don't think it is doing anything, actually. Where's 6 in this box, though? That's very doable. That's a 6, so that's a 6. So this is a 6, and we've got a whole flurry of 6s. Those two digits are the same. Let's try and remember that. I'll make those both A. And can I... Oh, I see. I can just do 6s. I think I've done my 6s now. Okay, well that's good. That's good news. Right, so these are 7, 8, 9. And the 8 seems to have to be in this domino, so that's a 9. So this is 7, 8, and this is 9. So this is 7, and this is something. The technical term for 9. This is now a known digit. That's a 7. Okay, I'm now beginning to believe. I think we have done something fairly sensible at last. Is this a 7, 8 pair? Yes, it is. Bobbins. That's 7 though. That's really nice. So that's 9. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. Therefore, this is 8. Neither of these are 7. So this is the 8, and this is the 2, and that's the 2. And look how late we finally finished this funny little cage over here. It took ages. This is 9. This is 8, this is 7, this is 9, this is 7, this is 8, and that is it's a very colourful puzzle, and I am not at all convinced with the way that I solved that in terms of efficiency. I rather suspect I either should have coloured it differently or done something different to differentiate the 4, 3 pairs and the 2, 5 pairs. But what I loved is there was a sort of coherent theme. The theme was about the ones, and immediately you could sense that there was a tension, and you just had to work out how to resolve it. And I loved the fact that this purple cage had to be efficient. And I was also genuinely surprised that the back end of that solved, because I didn't think we had anything like that. Is it solved? Yes. Oh. Thank you for playing. I hope this puzzle didn't eat too much of your brain. Oh, it certainly did. But I enjoyed it very much. We've controlled the outbreak. Flinty's outbreak has been suppressed. And hopefully we'll live to fight another day. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.